attesting that the wastewater is contained on their property and is not affecting the water course, as opposed to requiring the property owner to pay a certified installer to file that affidavit. Also on line 476 through 485, you'll see we allowed for a designated agent of a certified installer to cover his work and sign the affidavit if the department environmentalist does not arrive within 30 minutes of an agreed upon time. This bill is supported by the Home Builder Association of Mississippi, the Mississippi Pumpers Association, Mississippi Manufactured Housing Association, the American Council of Engineering Companies, Mississippi Association of Realtors, Mississippi Rural Water Association, as well as the Mississippi Health Department. And Mr. Speaker, explanation of the bill, and I will yield for any questions. With no questions, move to the final
Any
passage.
questions on the bill? Lady from Sunflower, Ms. Thomas.
I have a request. I can wait.
Okay. Gentleman from Covington, Mr. Warren.
Thank you, gentlemen. Will you yield?
Absolutely.
Now, tell me again exactly how this affects that present homeowner and his disposal system. What are the changes that's going to be made in regards to that?
On the 2-acre exemption?
Yes.
Okay. Right now, a homeowner has to get a certified installer to approve and send information into the health department as to how it was installed, how the system was installed. The health department does not have regulations on what you can install on a 2-acre exemption, but they require the law requires this time that you have to hire a certified installer to attest to what was there. And the present law, it allows the homeowner to not have to contract with a certified installer, but the homeowner themselves or anyone else that actually installs the system can give that information to the health department.
Any further questions on the bill? Gentleman from Prentice, Mr. Arnold.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And Chairman, yield.
Absolutely.
Gentlemen, I've got some people up there in close to Prentice County there, and they have some land that's on a lake. It's a small parcel of land, and for years they haven't been able to build on those properties. Will this allow them to build on that property and put their own sewer system in?
If the plot or if the tract will be 2 acres or above, it will allow them to put their own individual on-site wastewater disposal system on the property, and as long as they meet the criteria, and the criteria being that the wastewater cannot drift over onto an adjoining property, it has to stay on the property. The wastewater itself does, and as well as it cannot get into a stream or any other waterway in the state of Mississippi. As long as it meets those 2 criteria, it will be legal. Yes, sir.
Now, if that property is less than 2.5 acres, you say?
If it's more than 2.5 acres, that would be the case. If it's less than 2.5, or excuse me, if it's less than 2 acres, it would then fall under all the regulations of the individual wastewater law that we're speaking of today.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Gentleman Jones, Mr. Staples.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Gentlemen, I got a disclaimer up front. I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but why do we come down here every year or every other year and fool with this piece of legislation?
As you know, gentlemen, I've only been here a year. This is my second year, so this is my first time to actually address this situation. But just for information, we are putting a 5-year repealer on it this time. So I would assume that science changes, things over time. They actually learn more about these wastewater systems, and they try to put repealers on to where they can address those changes and information gathered over the years. But we have a 5-year repealer this time.
Thank you, Jim.
Gentleman from Tishomingo, Mr. Carpenter.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Absolutely.
Prior to you coming, this bill, we had a lot of heartburn with it in North Mississippi. There was a lot of bureaucracy with the local health departments. Has that been addressed in this bill?
Oh, okay.
Well, we took again dealing with the agencies that and the associations that I mentioned earlier that have approved this bill. I feel that with the private associations that have signed off on it, we have absolutely had a painstaking conversations with both interested parties, and I feel like we have addressed those. Yes, sir.
Thanks, sir.
Gentleman from Winston, Mr. Evans.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well, Jim McGill,
Yes, sir.
if we vote against this bill, will it